out of the box, out of the water, whatever you want to call it, we have... Damn it! We have Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Traitor? Traitor. But Traitor is with the A, so... Treater in 3D. Maybe that's why English is so horrible. I need to learn another language. Anyway, I did watch this in 3D. I do have a 3D TV. So let's get those suckers on, and I will show you Aslan in 3D and Narnia, but it's a different Narnia with a interesting child actor in this one. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Chronicles of Narnia 3, The Voyage of the Ocean. So, what is this movie about? Pretty simple premise. Now we only have 2 of the 4 kids going into this one with their cousin Eustace. Now we have 3 kids in Narnia teaming back up with Prince Caspian and figuring out what this green mist is. So, did I like this film? First off, let's talk about the 3D and what actually transpired between the first, second, and third one. The 3D is really good. I would say in this time of these 2000s, 2012, if it was shot in 3D or good post-production, a lot of 3D really pops. In this movie, the 3D pops. Good water effect. There's really good depth. Every time the dragon's going around, it's really fun. The mouse, his sword. So I have to give the 3D a solid A overall. Good depth, good action. It was never blurry, and it felt right for what the movie was going to do. All right, so when we look at this and the other 2 movies, very interesting. So the first and second one were done by Disney. The third one was done by Fox. Also a different director, different cast, as well as different, voice acting as well. The look of the movie is very, very different, as well as the runtime. While the first and second one was more an hour and 20, 30 minutes, this one clocked in under 2 hours. So this one, they went a lot more quicker with the story, even though the story is a little more in my opinion. So let's talk about the positives. The look. The best way to say of the look of this movie is more glossy. While the first and second one was more nitty-gritty in the production design, in the forest, in the practical effects. This one, yes, there are good practical effects. I think this is where the Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as some of the ship design, yes. But this one focused a lot more on CG because of the water effects, because of the dragon, because of this green mist. So you have to say, yes, there is a lot more CGI in this one, and it had to have that glossy look to it. Did it affect the movie? A little bit, because when you watch them back to back to back like I did, it was very, very daunting of the different look of the movie. This one felt more fast-paced, just more zoomy. I know that sounds really weird, but just it wasn't as, let me breathe in these wide shots from the first and second one. No, this one was going really cutting to this scene, to this scene, to this scene, to this scene, and adding these weird CGI characters. And with the story like this being... Oh, wait, let's talk about the positives still. I still think the acting is really good. Also, there will be an actor, a kid actor in this movie. His name, he's going to be the new Guardian of the Galaxy. He's in a lot... Will Poulter. He's in a lot of movies like, what is that? We're the Millers. Now he's going to be the new Guardian of the Galaxy. I'm pretty sure he was in Shameless. But this has got to be one of his first movies as a kid. He was a little annoying in the front half because he was supposed to be, but he did just grow into the role, and I thought it was really, really good what he decided to do with his Eustace character. I think the story is fun with this one. It is a lot more fast-paced, so you're going action set piece, action set piece, action set piece. So that would be a thumbs up for me for where the story is actually going. However, I'm going to say this is the weakest of the 3 because of how it looks in the story. The story really doesn't explain a lot. It's basically saying you need to find these 7 swords, put the 7 swords on the Aslan table, and then the green mist will kind of go away. And all we know is this green mist eats up people from fear, and it really doesn't explain that. And there's a lot of other small characters in this story where it's like, oh, this random house that goes through invisible doors, or you have this star that comes down. You expect one of these people to be the bad guy, but there were no bad guys in this movie. There were bad mist and bad monsters. I was expecting just like, at least in the first and second one, there were people. the White Witch, Tilda Swinton's character. And the second one, you have the Spanish army that were the bad guys. And now this one, you just have a mist and this random fear-looking monster, which the monster was a good creature design, but it just wasn't, it didn't have the right power to it. And it did conclude the story that it could be a fourth one with Will Poulter's character, which that would be pretty freaking hysterical to bring him back to do a fourth one with his age that he is now. But when it comes to the budget as well as what it made in the box office, I know the first one did like the best by like 700, 800 million, while the second and third one only did like 300 to 400 million worldwide. But overall, great 3D effects. I think it is a fun movie. It's only 2 hours. It did zoom by, and it did feel like it was less than 2 hours. It really did compare to, like I said, when you're watching the first, second, and third one back to back to back, you can feel the runtime of this one just zooming really quick. And I think with the budget, and they probably saw the long run times of the first two, so that we're going to diminish it a little bit. But I do think the overall story is the weakest. I did like the ending of the waterfall effect, or not the waterfall effect, but the wave effect was freaking awesome. I'll give them that. But just the villain of this story, it just didn't, work as well as I think they wanted it to. And I think they should have added a little bit more dilemma in this film. And it was a lot more slapsticky. And like I said, there's a slave trade storyline which really disappeared real quick. It was very convoluted and jumbly, and it just jumped all over the place. And you could totally tell it was a different director and probably a different writer. But kids will completely enjoy this film. So Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, I'm an Idiot, 3D, will receive a 3 out of 5 with Futon. He was at 60%. We'll see the correction you scores gave this one. So I didn't know that the first one was 2005, the second one was 2008, and this one was only 2 years after the second one. So they went back to back on this one. Audience score for this one, a 50% with 167. User scores a 58% with also over 100,000. Here's correct consensus. Its leisurely, business-like pace won't win the franchise many new fans, but Voyage of the Dawn Treader, restores some of the Narnia's franchise's lost luster with strong performances and impressive special effects. 100%. The special effects on this one were bar none the best, though. It was really awesome, but they kind of diminished the practical effects. But like I said, there was a practical effect Minotaur in this movie, and you get that thumbs up. But it does look like, according to the audience and the audience and the critics, this is the weakest. 50, 58, 60. Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing is Bhutan, hope you Bhutan. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I don't care if you're watching this today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. And we are officially done with the Narnia franchise. And when I do a random number generator of what's next, it's actually pretty hysterical what was the next franchise that was chosen. It was like, wow, another kid-esque one like this. Hint, hint, it starts with P, and the last name starts with a J. Can you guess it?